Is anybody out there still using the Note 9 in 2025? I'm just curious. Now, this is still a great device, honestly. I mean, of course, the design, is aged, but the device overall is still excellent. Okay, you get your always on display. You get an iris sensor, which I miss that so much, honestly. You get this home button up here that you feel a little bit of vibration. It activates your face unlock or your iris sensor or both. It has you got your fingerprint sensor here on the back. A physical fingerprint sensor. Let me go back to the always on display. Look at the always on display. Y'all remember this is what Samsung was doing for years until they went to this garbage. I mean, look, you got your notifications are bigger and they're in color as opposed to them being teeny and white. This is trash. Only thing I like about the new always on display is those widgets. Other than that, this is garbage. Sorry. That's just the way I feel about it. All right. So you got that finger. Now you only have two cameras, no wide angle. That was something that was, that some people need to have. So I understand that. But for people that don't really take a lot of photos like that, you don't really care, honestly. Now, this device is 6 years old, going on 7. But at the end of the day, it's still a flagship device. To me, this was peak Samsung, honestly. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love the S23 Ultra. Like, if I had to choose between the two, I'm picking the S23 Ultra. That's just me. Now, when it comes to the best complete note that Samsung has ever made, it's the Note 9 all day. It's all day. Let me just tell you why. You get that iris sensor, okay? That was something new that nobody seemed to stay with, which was unfortunate, but they nailed it on that. I mean, it first came into being with the Note 7, but Samsung had that issue with the Note 7, with the battery issue, but they still brought it back with the Note 8 and then the Note 9, and then after the Note 9, they dropped it because, they wanted to go with a bezel-less display type of look. So they eliminated that, which I actually hate that because that was a good feature to have. The heart rate monitor went the way of the dodo. They got rid of the SD card expansion, which is on this device. They dropped the headphone jack, which was on this device. S Pen being on the right side of the device where it should be. They moved it to the left, which I absolutely hate. And, stuff like that. Everything started changing, so. But with this device, you're still getting a device that has some good thickness to it. This is the Silver Surfer version, that's what I like to call it. I like the thickness. I like the weight of it. Now, this is by far the heaviest and thickest note that I've ever had. Even the Note 20 is not as thick, heavy, and as wide as the S23 Ultra. But for some people, that might be too heavy, might be too big. So they would rather have something little thinner, little lighter, still a flagship, older software, which is, will turn some people off. They like the software is just, it's just too old. It's not going to be as responsive. But I'm going to tell you right now, this phone is still not super slow to be this old. I mean, it's not like it's lagging or anything like that. Of course, it's not going to be, of course, it's not going to be as fast as a newer device. I mean, you got to think about the age of this device. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but it's not, as you can see, everything is not opening up super slow. I mean, seriously, keep in mind, this is still a flagship device. It's an older flagship device, but it's still an older flagship. I mean, it's still a flagship device nonetheless. And I'm definitely not getting rid of it. I'm definitely keeping this. There's no question about it. I mean, this is a classic. I mean, you get this phone, you definitely want to keep it. Dual stereo speakers that sound pretty good. I mean, they're not bad at all for a device that's this old. And the pictures and video that came out on this was really good. I mean, I had no issues with the cameras. Only thing you was missing was the wide angle. Now, I say out of all the things I, didn't like, the power button is just up way too high. I mean, look at my thumb. That power button should be right here. It's just, I don't know why Samsung placed it up so high. Now, you did have some bezel at the top, and you had a thinner bezel at the bottom. Of course, you have slightly curved edges, but the display's beautiful, quad HD, absolutely gorgeous, full IP68 water and dust resistance. I mean, you're getting the whole thing. 4,000 milliamp hour battery. I mean, think about it. Think about it. You're getting the whole package. This thing has Samsung DeX. You got the Bluetooth S Pen, which is something Samsung now removed from the S25, which I think is ridiculous. You got fast charging. It's not super fast, but I mean, you do have some type of fast charge. I think you can charge us from 0 to 100 in an hour and 40 minutes. You got wireless charging on here, which is cool. So you're getting pretty much everything that a standard flagship device would get. But keep in mind, you get that headphone jack and you got that expandable memory, which I know a lot of people really miss from devices that came out during this time. Because, of course, Samsung removed the headphone jack. They removed SD card support. They removed the heart rate monitor. They removed the iris sensor. They removed, they had an IR blaster on the Note 4. They removed that. Now, also, they removed the Bluetooth capability from the S Pen. So every time you turn around, Samsung is constantly removing things from their devices, not adding nothing that's substantial or adding things that people really want on their devices. They just keep just taking stuff away. Like, I don't really care about an anti-reflective coating. I could care less about that. Now, some people out there may care about that. I don't give a crap. I just don't. I don't care about that. I want a headphone jack. I want SD card support. Put my Bluetooth functionality back in my S Pen. How about giving me faster wireless charging? How about giving me faster wired charging? How about that? You know what I mean? Stuff like that that really matters to people. But I digress. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to say this is still a great device. And, I'm not going to tell anybody they shouldn't purchase it, because a lot of people are purchasing these older devices because they feel, and I believe, you get way more value out of older devices than you do these newer devices. With these newer devices, for the most part, you're not getting any innovation. You're getting these super small incremental upgrades, which don't mean nothing. Like the S23, to me, like the S25, if you have the S23, you don't need the S25. You don't even need the S24, honestly. But of course, you're going to have some people that's going to upgrade anyway. And that's fine. That's your choice. If you're one of them people that have to have the latest and the greatest, more power to you. But the regular common folk that try to make good sound decisions with their purchases, you be wasting money, honestly. Just get yourself an older flagship and just chill with it. And I think this is still worthy of picking up, even though the software is older, even though it doesn't get security updates or software updates. Still a great device. You can get a VPN put on your phone if you want. It does have Samsung security already baked into the phone. So, don't worry about security. Your phone should be fine. I've never had an issue with older phones with security. I've never had any issues whatsoever. So don't let that be a reason why you don't get an older device. This device is a great pickup. It really is. It's going to be dirt cheap. You could probably get it for under $200. Okay, you're going to get everything that you want in a flagship, especially that expandable storage and that headphone jack. Okay, and that S Pen being on the side that it should be on. Dual stereo speakers, IP68 water and dust resistance. I mean, iris sensor, heart rate monitor, a physical fingerprint sensor on the rear, great build quality, nice weight, good thickness, still really good performance, decent cameras. I mean, 6.4 inch quad HD display, you're still getting an overall great device with the Note 9. So, should you even consider picking up a Note 9 in 2025? I'm going to say yes. But of course, that's up to you at the end of the day. All right. So thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. I hope everybody out there staying safe, staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.